Christopher Robillard Mordetzky is an American professional wrestler best known by his ring name Chris Masters. He is best known for his tenure with WWE. He is currently working for Global Force Wrestling under his real name. Professional wrestling career. Early career. Mordetzky began training for a wrestling career at the age of 16 in Ultimate Pro Wrestling. He trained there for 1 year and suffered an injury, leaving him out of action for 3 months. During this time, Mordetzky learned that WWE was recruiting talent from UPW, and he took time off from wrestling for nearly 3 years to pursue a powerful physique that would interest World Wrestling Entertainment. His work paid off, as WWE offered him a developmental contract in 2003, training him at its developmental territory, Ohio Valley Wrestling. At OVW, he developed his wrestling skills and refined his character, achieving success in both the singles and tag team divisions. When Mordetzky was called up to the main roster, WWE showed vignettes outlining him as the masterpiece, touting him as having a body so perfect, it would appear he was sculpted out of stone. Mordetzky credits Matt Morgan for creating the masterpiece gimmick, and said Vince McMahon encouraged him to emulate former wrestler Paul Orndorff. World Wrestling Entertainment Debut. In pursuit of the WWE Championship, the masterpiece Chris Masters made his debut in WWE on Raw as a villain, drawing attention to his physique and bodybuilding poses during his entrance to the ring. On the February 21, 2005 episode of Raw, Masters made his debut by defeating Stevie Richards. During the contest, Masters broke Richards' nose performing the Polish Hammer. The Polish Hammer continued to be a signature move of Masters for months after this first match, but with warning that it would only be used in striking an opponent's chest. Masters made a claim that his version of the full Nelson hold, which he dubbed the Master Lock, was unbreakable. Masters began a series of contests he would call Master Lock challenges, where Masters would put an opponent in the Master Lock and the opponent would try to break free before Masters made him submit or pass out. Masters would go on to log more full Nelson submission victories than any wrestler in WWE history, breaking the record previously held by Kurt Angle. Originally he would call out plants from the crowd, placing a $1,000 prize of his own money to be paid to anyone who could break free from the Master Lock. At Backlash, he defeated Melissa Coates in a Master Lock challenge. He engaged in feuds with lower-card wrestlers, Val Venis and Sergeant Slaughter, who both failed to break the Master Lock. Using villainous tactics, he often attacked the wrestlers beforehand and frequently cheated. Masters increased the offered reward each week up to $20,000 and sometimes threw in a bonus. After defeating the 400-pound Rosie on July 18, Masters defiantly stated it doesn't matter how big they are, prompting the Big Show to accept a Master Lock challenge. In accordance with his villainous persona, Masters fled, refusing a match with the Big Show. In late August, Masters entered a feud with Shawn Michaels, leading to a tag match between himself and Carlito against Ric Flair and Michaels. During the match, Masters defeated Ric Flair by submission. Masters regularly teamed with Carlito, albeit in a rigid business relationship. Michaels competed in a Master Lock challenge on September 5. Masters, upset at the vigorous resistance of Michaels, released the hold and beat him with a steel chair before reapplying the hold. The Master Lock challenge, which had not decided a clear victor between the two, led to a match at Unforgiven which Michaels won. Masters, alongside fellow Raw wrestler, Edge, was one of several wrestlers to invade SmackDown. In preparation for the match between the SmackDown and Raw brands at Survivor Series, the two ambushed Rey Mysterio, leading to a tag match at Taboo Tuesday against Mysterio and Matt Hardy. Edge chose not participate, so Masters teamed with Edge's replacement, Gene Snitsky. Masters and Snitsky lost when Mysterio pinned Masters. At Survivor Series, Masters competed in a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match between SmackDown and Raw wrestlers. During the match, there appeared to be a near break in the Master Lock by Bobby Lashley, who powered out of the hold. As the hold was never completely locked in, however, the Master Lock had not been officially broken. Masters had his first WWE Championship match on the November 28 episode of Raw. It was a triple threat submission match with Kurt Angle and John Cena. The idea was that both Masters and Angle had a submission finisher, and Cena did not, so therefore, Cena could not win. Prior to the match, Masters made headlines after attacking then-champion Cena from behind following one of Cena's matches. Masters applied the Master Lock hold, and became the first wrestler to bring Cena to unconsciousness, as Cena was unable to break the hold. During their match, Masters was struck with a chair shot from Cena, who ultimately retained the title, forcing Masters to tap out to Cena's STFU. Masters portrayed the role of a bailiff during the mock trial for then-General Manager Eric Bischoff on the December 5 episode of Raw, with WWE Chairman Vince McMahon as judge. Upon being called to the stand to testify for Bischoff's defense, he was asked to give his name, which he did, saying his name was Chris Masters. He was immediately accused of perjury and disqualified as a witness, as McMahon broke kayfabe and stated that Masters' real name was Chris Mordetzky. On December 12, Chris Masters defeated Viscera on an episode of Raw to gain a spot in the Elimination Chamber match for John Cena's WWE Championship at New Year's Revolution. Viscera was shown to be too big to cinch on the Master Lock until being grounded. On the December 26 episode of Raw, Masters faced Chavo Guerrero, in a beat-the-clock match to determine who would be the final entrant to be released from his pod in the Elimination Chamber. Masters had to defeat Guerrero in 5 minutes and 56 seconds, which was the time set by Michaels. Guerrero managed to survive the Master Lock long enough so that Masters was unable to beat the clock. At New Year's Revolution, Masters was eliminated from the Elimination Chamber match when Carlito double-crossed him by delivering a low blow while he had Cena in the Master Lock and then used a roll-up for the pin. On January 9, after some heated words with Carlito, both men had a tag match against two men who were also having difficulties, Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. During the match, Michaels walked backstage, leaving Angle to fend for himself. Masters saw the opportunity and applied the Master Lock to Angle, thus gaining the victory. On January 16, Masters challenged Cena to take part in a Master Lock challenge. Cena accepted the challenge and displayed signs that he might in fact break out of the hold, until Edge attacked Cena with his title belt and ended the challenge. Various feuds. At the Royal Rumble, Masters again worked together with Carlito, but Carlito again double-crossed him and eliminated him from the match. On the February 6 episode of Raw, both men were entered into a Road to Wrestlemania tournament, to determine the number one contender for a WWE Championship match at Wrestlemania 22. In Masters' first round matchup, he would use the ropes for leverage in a victory against Kane to secure himself a place in the second round against the winner of a later match between Carlito and Rob Van Dam. Van Dam won that match. The next week on Raw, Van Dam was able to beat Masters and advance to the tournament final. After this, Masters continued to feud with one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Big Show, while Masters' on and off teammate Carlito would feud with Kane. On the February 27 episode of Raw, McMahon offered Shawn Michaels' former tag team partner Marty Jannetty a WWE contract in exchange for kissing his exposed buttocks in the middle of the wrestling ring. When Jannetty hesitated, McMahon changed the condition to winning a Master Lock challenge, and summoned Masters to the ring. After applying the Master Lock, McMahon ordered Masters to force Jannetty's face against his buttocks. Masters failed to complete this instruction as Shawn Michaels interrupted and knocked out Masters. Michaels was then attacked by Shane McMahon, who forced him to kiss Mr. McMahon's buttocks instead. On March 6 episode of Raw, McMahon publicly thanked everyone who encouraged the previous week's events, and officially awarded Masters and Carlito a tag team title match at WrestleMania 22. At WrestleMania 22, the pair lost the match to Big Show and Kane. The pair argued amongst themselves after the match. Even though Carlito had repeatedly betrayed Masters over the previous months, it was Carlito who turned face. During the next Raw, Masters began to feud with Carlito after Carlito attacked him from behind. This led to a match between the two men at Backlash which Carlito won. After this, Masters pursued the WWE Intercontinental Championship but would leave for several months to go to drug rehab due to an addiction of painkillers. Before leaving, Masters was on the May 22 episode of Raw, losing a match to John Cena despite low-blowing John Cena for 2 times in a row. He returned to the ring during an OVW TV taping on August 6. He had lost much of his muscle mass, appearing much slimmer, although he still had some definition in his arms and abdomen. On the August 28 episode of Raw, Masters made his return against Cena. Along with less muscle mass, he sported a goatee and mustache, leading Jerry the King Lawler to refer to him as a leaner and meaner Chris Masters. This change of image was short-lived, however, as Masters shaved the goatee and regained some of his muscle mass. When Masters returned, he was put in lower card matches including a short feud with Super Crazy, who had moved from SmackDown. With Masters coming out on the losing end of their matches. The pair would also compete in a losing effort, along with 4 other superstars, in a 6-pack challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. Masters gained his first victory since his return against Jerry Lawler on the November 6 episode of Raw in a match where Eric Bischoff, general manager for the night, forced Lawler to be first handcuffed to the top rope. Masters continued the feud with Lawler for a few weeks, with Lawler also losing a Master Lock challenge before defeating Masters. On the December 4 episode of Raw, Jonathan Coachman set up a Master Lock challenge against John Cena for the WWE Championship. Masters, appearing to have the challenge won, released the hold for a short time, allowing Cena to reverse the hold into his own Master Lock, forcing Masters to submit, retaining his title, and making Cena the first to win the Master Lock challenge. At the start of 2007, Masters would restart his feud with Carlito, which led to several matches between the two. The first was a one-on-one contest at New Year's Revolution won by Masters. In a rematch the next night on Raw, Carlito came out victorious. On the January 15 episode of Raw, Ron Simmons, with interference from Super Crazy, almost won the Master Lock challenge. An attempted Master Lock challenge for the Great Khali on the February 26 episode of Raw did not occur when Masters was unable to apply the hold to Khali. The Master Lock was first officially broken on the March 19 episode of Raw, by ECW World Champion Bobby Lashley. After Masters debuted more than 2 years ago. In May and June, Masters challenged Santino Marella for the Intercontinental Championship, losing 4 times via roll-up. However, on the May 28 episode of Raw, he defeated Marella in the Master Lock challenge. On the June 11 episode of Raw, Masters was drafted from Raw to SmackDown as part of the 2007 WWE Draft. While on SmackDown, he was used sporadically, including a few Master Lock challenges. He had entered into a feud with Chuck Palumbo, competing in several matches and an attempted Master Lock challenge that did not begin as Masters fled the ring after Palumbo realized Masters was trying to trick him. Following this, Masters was suspended for 30 days for failing a drug test. Masters returned to SmackDown on October 5, applying the Master Lock to Palumbo. Masters suffered a dislocated elbow during his last match, which would have sidelined him for 4 months. On November 2, 2007, it was reported that Masters had been suspended for 60 days for having violated WWE's substance abuse and drug policy a second time. 6 days later, Mordetzky was released from his WWE contract on November 8, 2007. Independent circuit on December 20, 2007, Mordetzky made his first wrestling appearance since his departure from WWE, competing under the name Chris Moore for Antonio Inoki's Inoki Genome Federation at the event Genome 2, Inoki fighting Xmas in Tokyo, Japan, defeating Ryuji Najizawa. Mordetzky also appeared under his Chris Masters ring name and gimmick at Harley Race's World League Wrestling show on December 29, during a lumberjack match between Brandon Tatum and Inti Moore. Tatum pinned Moore after Masters applied the Master Lock behind the referee's back. He soon won the WLW Heavyweight Championship, his first singles title, on February 9, 2008 from Keith Walker. He later lost the title to Derek McQuinn on May 25. In May 2008, news reports revealed that Mordetzky had signed a one-year contract with New Wrestling Evolution. Mordetzky wrestled on the independent circuit in Australia and New Zealand, appearing for New Zealand-wide Pro Wrestling on April 23, 2009 in Lower Hutt. He defeated Adam Avalanche and Rough Guts in a triple threat match at the show Power Play 6. Masters also competed in Europe for American Wrestling Rampage, in the UK for Varsity Pro Wrestling and Puerto Rico for the World Wrestling Council. Return to WWE. Mordetzky returned to World Wrestling Entertainment on July 27, 2009, reprising his character as the masterpiece Chris Masters. He entered the ring with an unabridged Titantron, displaying his signature poses. Mordetzky did not take the mic and little commentary was made on his absence. He faced Montel Vontavious Porter in a match that resulted in a double countout after he applied the Master Lock submission to MVP outside the ring. A mini-feud continued between the two as Porter was able to score a pinfall victory over Masters the following week to end the feud. In November 2009, Mordetzky began a face turn, entertaining fans with a Tony Holland-style peg dance. On the November 2 episode of Raw, Mordetzky entered the Raw's Got Talent show hosted by guest host Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, and the Great Khali, where he performed a special performance art piece. He flexed his pecs to the beat of Ozzy's song Crazy Train, earning a positive crowd reaction. Masters later recalled that he was not a fan of the peg dancing gimmick, but made the best of it for the company. On the December 7 episode of Raw, Masters cemented his face turn by saving Eve Torres and Hornswoggle from Chavo Guerrero after applying the Master Lock. After that, Masters and Torres began an on-screen relationship. Masters mostly engaged in lower-card feuds throughout 2010 and 2011. Some wrestling observers have speculated that his character was being reduced to a comedic role because WWE hoped to avoid negative publicity tied to his past talent and wellness violations. Following Wrestlemania XXVI, Masters was not active on screen for over 30 days. Masters was drafted back to the SmackDown brand on April 26 during the supplemental draft. In his first match on the brand, he defeated Chavo Guerrero. Masters found himself lossless in singles matches from May to September, winning 11 singles matches during that period, where all the matches took place on Superstars. Masters was announced as one of the men to compete in the traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team match as part of Team Mysterio, teaming with Rey Mysterio, Big Show, Kofi Kingston and Montel Vontavious Porter to take on Team Del Rio. On the November 19 episode of SmackDown, Masters lost to Swagger in a Survivor Series showdown match. Later that same night, he competed in a 10-man Survivor Series showdown battle royal where he eliminated Rhodes. Though later on in the match he was eliminated, the Battle Royal was won by Mysterio and Big Show. At the Survivor Series pay-per-view, Masters was eliminated by Del Rio, but his team still went on to win. In late 2010, Masters mentored Byron Saxton on WWE NXT. In February and March 2011, Masters would feud with Tyler Rex on Superstars, and Masters won all 4 matches they had with each other. A push and possible gimmick change was rumored, but never materialized. On April 26, 2011, Chris Masters was drafted back to the Raw brand as part of the 2011 supplemental draft, but never wrestled on Raw in his 4 months as a Raw wrestler. His last appearance on WWE programming was against Jack Swagger on August 4, 2011 episode of Superstars in a losing effort. On August 5, 2011, Mordetzky was released from his contract by WWE. Returned to independent circuit. In December 2011, Mordetzky joined the Ring Car King promotion, a branch of Total Nonstop Action Wrestling for India under the name American Adonis. There he defeated Roscoe Jackson, but was defeated by Indian wrestler Mayabali Veera. In December 2011, Mordetzky was also revealed to be involved in the Wrestling Retribution project under the ring name Concrete. Mordetzky appeared on the World Wrestling Fan Experience Champions Showcase Tour in Manila, Philippines on February 4, 2012, where he wrestled under the name Chris Master. There he was defeated against fellow WWE alumni MVP. In April 2012, Mordetzky participated in the Revolution event for International Pro Wrestling, United Kingdom and London. Other wrestlers at the event were WWE Tough Enough Season 5 contestant Matt Cross and WWE alumni and friend Carlito. In June 2012, Mordetzky was defeated by Robbie in a dark match for Impact Wrestling. Mordetzky has also been involved in many other wrestling events since his release from WWE, such as Southside Wrestling beating El Ligero, Dutch Pro Wrestling, Firestar Pro Wrestling, Big Time Wrestling, World Star Wrestling, Vendetta Pro Wrestling and Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. October 26, 2012, Masters was defeated by Matt Hardy in the Big Time Wrestling 16th Anniversary show. On October 27, 2012, Masters defeated Rick Luxury, Sean Casey and then champion Chavo Guerrero, Jr. in a four-way elimination match for the Vendetta Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. On April 20, 2013, Masters unsuccessfully challenged Rob Conway for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On January 24, 2014, Masters won the Real Canadian Wrestling Canadian Heavyweight Championship. Masters lost the title the next day. On March 29, 2014, at International Wrestling Federation's Breaking Ground, Masters was defeated by Chris Hero. On June 26, Masters defeated Ken Kirby's and Kronos in a triple threat match for the AWO Championship at the All Wrestling Organization annual show WrestleFest in Tyre, Israel. On November 1, 2014, Masters faced the one Simon Lancaster at the RDW 10th Anniversary show. The match ended in a draw when the RDW champion, Spider, attacked both men. Masters then went on to aid Lancaster in a match against Spider, winning Lancaster the championship. Preston City Wrestling on December 9, 2012, Masters made his Preston City Wrestling debut losing to Chris Travis at PCW Festive Fury 2012. On March 1, 2014, Masters won the Road to Glory tournament, earning the right to a match for the PCW Heavyweight Championship. On August 1, 2014, Masters defeated Joey Hayes to become PCW Heavyweight Champion at Preston City Wrestling's 3rd anniversary show with Lionheart as the special referee. On November 29, 2014, Masters lost the PCW Heavyweight Championship in a three-way elimination match to RR Nation during a PCW Raw Super Show of Honor event. The match also included Dave Mastiff. On March 14, 2015, Masters defeated RR Nation in a loser leaves PCW no disqualification match to regain the PCW Heavyweight Championship at PCW Road to Glory 2015. On July 11, 2015, Masters lost the PCW Heavyweight Championship to Dave Mastiff at the PCW Tribute to the Troops 2 event. Global Force Wrestling on May 6, 2015, Global Force Wrestling announced Mordetzky as part of their roster. He made his debut for the promotion on June 12, defeating Dustin Starr. Total Nonstop Action Wrestling Mordetzky made his Total Nonstop Action Wrestling debut on the July 27, 2015 episode of Impact Wrestling, where he competed in a King of the Mountain match for the vacant TNA King of the Mountain Championship. Robbie E., Eric Young, Lashley and the winner of the match, PJ Black were the other participants. On the following week's Impact, the Global Force stable cut a promo in the ring challenging TNA. Chris took the microphone and demanded a TNA opponent. Bobby Lashley took up the challenge. The match ended in a no contest after the Global Force stable interrupted the match. On the September 9th episode of Impact Wrestling, Mordetzky defeated Drew Galloway in a lumberjack match. On the September 16th edition of Impact Wrestling, Team GFW faced Team TNA in a lethal lockdown match where they lost. Personal life: Mordetzky has Polish and Jewish roots. He has stated that The Ultimate Warrior and Shawn Michaels were two of his favorite wrestlers while growing up. When asked what it was like wrestling Michaels, Mordetzky replied, "It was a dream come true. That's something I'll take with me to my grave. He was my childhood idol, I idolized the guy, and I still trip out that I got to wrestle him on a pay-per-view. How many people get to do that? How many people get to wrestle their idol? Mordetzky claims that the biggest misconception that most people have about him is that he's just a bodybuilder. John Cena went on record to say that Chris Masters is the strongest competitor he has faced in his career. Though Masters never defeated Cena in the ring, Masters defeated Cena in an arm wrestling match. Masters put Cena out in the Master Lock hold on 3 separate non-match occasions. Masters is one of only 2 competitors who brought John Cena to unconsciousness once, let alone 3 times. Mordetzky is good friends with WWE wrestler Randy Orton, along with WWE alumni Carlito, Chavo Guerrero, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, John Morrison, and Rob Van Dam. Mordetzky has appeared on both Van Dam's radio show RVD Radio and reality television show RVD TV. The Wrestling Observer reported that Vince McMahon only rehired Masters in 2009 at the recommendation of Randy Orton. Mordetzky was married to Vesela Marinova. During the weekend of SummerSlam 2012, Masters posted a controversial photo depicting himself holding a gun pointed towards his head on Twitter. It was rumored that he was under the influence of alcohol, but nothing was ever confirmed. Later, he apologized for the incident, claiming that he was not suicidal. A tweet posted to his Twitter profile in March 2013 stated that Mordetzky saved his mother's life from a criminal who had committed arson at her home. This was later featured on WWE.com, detailing that he had broken down a 10-foot tree with his bare hands and used it to open a path to his mother's windows, freeing her. In wrestling. Finishing moves, Iron Cross / Master Lock. Signature moves, Backbreaker Rack, Baywag, Clothesline, Delayed Vertical Suplex, Full Nelson Slam, Inverted Atomic Drop, Knife Edge Chop, Leaping Back Elbow, Leaping Shoulder Block, sometimes from the top rope, Military Press Slam, Polish Hammer Euro 2005, Samoan Drop, Scoop Power Slam, Sidewalk Slam, Spine Buster, sometimes dropped into a sit-up position, Stinger Splash, Swinging Neck Breaker, Vertical Suplex Power Slam. Managers, Eve Torres. Nicknames, The Masterpiece, The Adonis. Entrance themes, Masterpiece by Jim Johnston, Masterpiece by Jim Johnston, Overdrive by Loeffler John Inside and Gary Phillip from Cherry Picked Music Library. Championships and Accomplishments, All Wrestling Organization, AWO Heavyweight Championship. Championship Wrestling from Arizona, Arizona Heavyweight Championship. Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW Southern Tag Team Championship a Euro with Brent Albright. Preston City Wrestling, PCW Heavyweight Championship, Road to Glory Tournament. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, PWI ranked him number 89 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2007. Real Canadian Wrestling, RCW Canadian Heavyweight Championship. Rome Wrestling Federation, RWF Heavyweight Championship. Vendetta Pro Wrestling, Vendetta Pro Heavyweight Championship. World League Wrestling, WLW Heavyweight Championship. WrestleSport, WrestleSport Heavyweight Championship. Filmography. References. External links. Chris Masters' profile on WWE.com, Chris Masters PCW profile, GFW profile, Chris Masters at the Internet Movie Database, Wrestling profile online worldofwrestling.com. Radio interview Wrestling Radio. Interview on Dropkick Radio. Dropkickradio.com. Chris Masters points gun to his head.